All right, a huge welcome to all you new teachers out there. In this explainer, we're going to tackle one of the most important frameworks you'll use in your classroom, the multi-tiered system of supports, or MTSS. So let's just jump right in.
So, let's be real for a second. It's the question that keeps every teacher up at night, right? You've just taught a fantastic lesson, but you see that one student, or maybe a couple, just aren't getting it. You try reteaching, you switch things up, but they're still struggling. What's the next step? It can feel like a lot, but I promise you are not alone and there is a plan.
And that plan? That's MTSS. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Oh, great, another acronym, another thing to do. But I want you to try and see it differently. Think of it like a roadmap. It's this supportive, structured guide that's built to help you figure out what your students need and find the right ways to help them succeed. It's a game plan, really, for everyone's success. Okay, so to make this all crystal clear, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll cover what MTSS even is. Then, we'll get into the 3 tiers of support. We are definitely going to focus on your role in Tier 1. It's so important. After that, we'll map out the plan for Tiers 2 and 3. And finally, we'll talk about the amazing support team that has your back through this whole thing. So, let's start at square 1. What in the world is this system we call MTSS? Okay, so here's the official definition from MDCPS, and it's actually packed with everything you need to know. The words you really want to zero in on are evidence-based, data, and student need. This means we're not just guessing here. MTSS is all about using real data to figure out what a student needs academically and behaviorally, and then giving them the right support at the right level. You know, it's also super important to talk about what MTSS is not because there are a lot of myths out there. It's not just some backdoor way to get a student into special ed, and it is absolutely not extra work. It is the work of being a great, responsive teacher. And it's for all students, not just the ones who are struggling. It's about being proactive and catching kids before they fall behind. The whole MTSS framework is really built on this simple but really powerful idea of 3 different tiers of support. Let's dig into what they look like. So this is a big one. Ideally, this is what it should look like. In a really healthy school, your core teaching, that's Tier 1, should be effective for about 80% of your kids. That's the goal. The other tiers, Tier 2 and Tier 3, are there for that smaller percentage of students who just need a bit more. This shows you just how critical your classroom instruction is. A strong Tier 1 is the foundation for the whole school.
So, to break it down even more simply, Tier 1 is for all students. That's your awesome, everyday teaching in the main classroom. Tier 2 is for some students. They still get Tier 1, but they also get extra targeted help, usually in small groups. And Tier 3 is for a few students who need the most intensive, individualized support we can possibly give them. See how they build on each other? As a new teacher, this is where you live and breathe. Your biggest impact, day in and day out, is right here in Tier 1. This is your space, and it's the bedrock of the whole system. When it comes down to it, your job in Tier 1 is really just, well, it's the heart of great teaching. It all starts with you delivering that awesome curriculum. Then you look at your classroom data. Who's getting it? Who isn't? From there, you meet with your team, you share ideas, you brainstorm, and you document it all. This isn't something extra to do. This is the job. And doing it well is the #1 most important part of the entire MTSS process. Okay, so what if you've done all that? You've differentiated, you've collaborated, you've documented, but a student is still not making progress. That's the moment your Tier 1 work turns into a more formal action plan. I love this quote from the district flowchart because it's so direct. It's basically your big, flashing green light. When your data, and that's the key word, your data, not just a gut feeling, shows that a student is falling behind, that is your official signal to start the process for more support. And the best part? There's a clear timeline so you're not just floating out there wondering what to do next. Week 1, you're meeting with your team, filling out the main form, and calling parents. For the next 4 weeks, you're doing targeted interventions and tracking that data every week. By week 5, you're looking at all that data with the team, and if the student's not responding, that's when you start talking about a Tier 3 plan. It's a structure that keeps things moving. So what's that very first concrete step? It's this form right here, the Request for Assistance, or RFA. Form FM 7073. This is how you officially get the ball rolling and bring in your school's support team. It's literally the key that unlocks that next level of support for your student. Now, For those students who continue to have a tough time, even with consistent Tier 2 help, we move to our most intensive level of support, Tier 3.
Tier 3 is all about intensity. We're talking more time on task, much smaller groups, sometimes even one-on-one, and instruction that is super precise and systematic. It's all laid out in a formal Tier 3 intervention plan, which is another form, FM 6290. This is a really focused, all-hands-on-deck effort to close those big learning gaps. I know, hearing about all these tiers and forms and meetings, it can sound like a lot to manage. But here's the most important thing I can tell you. You are not doing any of this alone. You have a whole team behind you. And this is your crew. Let's talk about who's on your team. You've got your school administrator, who makes sure you have the resources you need. Your instructional coach is your go-to partner for digging into data and picking the right interventions. Then you have the school psychologist and counselor for their specialized expertise. And at the center of it all is your MTSS coordinator, who helps guide the whole process. See? It's a total team effort. And remember, your team goes beyond the school walls. The students' parents, they are absolutely crucial partners in all of this. In fact, the district lays out 6 key ways to build that strong partnership. Things like inviting them to meetings, creating an MTSS webpage for them, and just making sure they know you appreciate their efforts at home. It's all about working together.
So after all that, if there's just one thing you remember from our chat today, let it be this. MTSS isn't just a program you have to do. It's not a checklist. It's really a belief system. It's the belief that when we work together and we use data smartly, we can build a system of support that gives every single student a real shot at success.
And that really brings us to the most important question of all. I want you to think about your classroom right now. Think about that student who popped into your head while we were talking. The MTS framework gives you the tools. The team has your back. So, which student will you champion first?